Hi everyone, my name is Chelsea. Welcome to Little Mountain Ranch to a very foggy morning. It's so foggy out. I love these foggy autumn mornings here. We don't get fog any other time of year besides autumn, so I really try to take advantage of filming the sunrises. They're just absolutely spectacular, and I do post those over on my Instagram account, which I will have linked down in the show notes for you. Today we are going to head up to Costco to do a bulk grocery shop. We are also going to be picking up our grain for the winter. We do try to stock up all of our bulk items as well as our animal feed every 6 months or so. I either will do those grocery store stock ups online through Horizon Distributors or through Organic Matters, which I'll link down in the description box below, or we will go to Costco if we have another reason to be heading north, which today we do because we're going to be getting our grain as well. And I thought it might be interesting for you to come along with us and see the kinds of things that we purchase here on our farm in bulk, because we do grow a lot of our own food here, but of course not all of it. So let's get going. Everybody's all loaded in. We got up bright and early this morning, and it is now 7 a.m. and we're actually heading out the door on time, which is a downright miracle. We are now at the farm that we're getting our grain from, so we like to buy our grain directly from the farmers if we can do it. Pardon me?
How much do you think we'll use? Because you can fit them side by side, so we can get more if we want.
Really? That would be good. I'll show you when we get out, but we have a flat deck trailer, and normally we can fit only 4 bags end to end on it, but this guy thinks that he can fit a couple of extra bags, which would be great because that just means that we have to make a trip up here further off into the spring than we would have to if we can only fit the 4 bags. So we'll see what they decide. They have all the grain loaded up now, so we are going to go eat lunch, and then we're going to head over to Costco. We made it out of Costco alive with almost everything that we needed. We weren't able to get the flour, most of the oatmeal. Was there anything else that we weren't able to get? They didn't have in stock?
Dad sneaked something.
Dad snuck some things in, yes. Dan snuck a few treats. Oh right, and the popcorn mix you snuck in. He was sneaking things in behind. No, it was definitely not. It was definitely Dan. Anyway. Oh, ginger, that's right. They didn't have any ginger. Anyways, so we did, it was around $1,900 or so, and we've already spent $1,200 at the other place that we bulk shop. And then we have another probably $800 worth of stuff to get. And then that will completely do us for 6 months for everything except for greens, and 12 months for a lot of those things. So that feels really good. One of the reasons that I shop like this is not just because it is less expensive for a family of our size to shop in bulk, but also because I don't like grocery shopping, so I'd much prefer to just have to do it a couple of times a year than have to do it every single week. So we're still, of course, going to have to go to the grocery store weekly for the veggies that we need that we aren't growing this time of year, and all the way until the spring when we start having greens. We do have goals of finishing up the grow room in our basement where I start all my seeds and being able to grow microgreens.
Turn that way.
This way, yeah. And to grow microgreens so that at least we would have our greens also on our own property, or also from the farm during the winter, but we're just not at that place yet. So we'll still be going to the grocery store, but oh no, I led you the wrong way.
You did.
I'm so sorry. Now we're gonna have to pull a U-turn with this huge trailer with all of this grain on the back. Or maybe we have to go up the way that I don't know. I'm sorry. This is the second time I've done this. and it is a little bit busy. It's a lot busier in this town than it is in our little town. When we get home, it's obviously going to be late, so I will film the rest of this video and show you everything that we actually got in the morning. Good morning. We are now back home. We have our trailer. We have to get all the grain unloaded and all the groceries unloaded. We did bring all the freezer food in and put it in the freezer, but now we have to go do chores, and then we will head up to the house and I'll show you all of the food that we got. And the purpose behind doing this is because I hope it can be helpful, because I know that buying in bulk and trying to figure out how much you actually need over a certain period of time, whatever your time frame is, can be really overwhelming and a little bit daunting. It certainly was when I first started, which is the purpose behind sharing this information with you. And I'll also share with you how we figured out what it is that we actually needed. Oh, the sun is just about to come up over the mountain there. You coming there, little missy? She's bringing her mug with her down to the cow. We put a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of maple syrup in the bottom of a mug, and then I milk right into it, and she gets a nice warm drink in the morning. So whenever I'm going down, if she's already done her chores, which she has, then she comes running down with me. My poor cow has a cut on one of her teats. I'll show you that in a second. So we are using some salve on it to help to heal it, but it does make milking a little bit tricky because of course it hurts, but it's necessary that I milk all that milk out, otherwise she could get an infection. So I have to be really, really gentle. Mr. Albus Dumbledore. Whenever I say Albus, everyone always thinks I'm saying Elvis, but his name is actually Albus Dumbledore.
Remember one time he showed his nose up the stairs, and then his nose actually pointed to his bowl?
Oh yeah, that's right. He's always waiting for his milk in the morning. I did, thank you. Come on in, lady. Come on. Good girl. In you go. Keep going. Good girl. Okay, so I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this because it's pretty dark in here. She has a cut right there, up there on her teat. So put some salve on it and give it a good wash. Oh, I'm sorry, honey, that must hurt. Poor thing. So cows will get cuts on their teats like this going through the forest and getting on a bramble or something like that. It doesn't happen that often. And they usually heal up pretty fast, but still painful for them. Doesn't get much more fresh than this, does it, Boo? No, it doesn't. Is it good? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, we are back in the house and we have all the food laid out, so I'm going to walk you through what we bought and why we chose to buy some of the things that we did buy. The question that I often get is, how do you figure out how much food your family actually needs for a certain time period? And everybody's is different. For us, we like to have a solid 6 months and 12 months supply of a lot of different things. So we have not a super technical system for figuring this out, but it really works well for us. We do around a 3-week meal plan or so, and that includes breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dan and I sit down together and do that. And then out of that, we create a grocery list for that 3-week period, exactly how much of each thing we're going to need in order to make all of those meals. This is a really easy thing for us to do at this point, just because we know exactly what the what the recipes call for just from having done them for so long. So once we've gone through and we've created our grocery list for that 3-week period, then we can just multiply that out to however long it is that we're wanting to shop for at that time. We take that list down, that master list we have of all those ingredients, to our pantry, our root cellar, and our freezers, and we'll go through that thoroughly and mark off how much of each thing we need. That phase of creating the master list of ingredients that we actually need to buy at the store isn't super time consuming for us at this point, just because we've been doing this for a long time. But what can be very time consuming is then taking that list and going online and doing some shopping between all of the different places that we shop and try to find the best prices. We shop at Costco, Wholesale Club, Horizon Distributors, and sometimes Organic Matters. So we have to go to each of those places, look up the price of each item for each of those different places, and then pick the least expensive place. And that's what we'll either go physically and shop at the store, or we will order those things online. We actually take our grocery list when we're doing this, and we'll write down the prices of each thing on that list and where we're going to be getting each of those items. And then over the next week, we'll actually do all of that shopping. So now that we've done the Wholesale Club, now we've done Costco, and now we're going to be doing our online order for our flour. I think that's the last thing that we had on our list that we needed to do. When it comes to this kind of shopping, it really is quite a steep learning curve at the beginning. I found it quite overwhelming, but once you do it over a couple of years, it starts to become a little bit like second nature. There are probably many more efficient ways to do this, but this is the way that just works for us and works for our family. So let's get into showing you what we actually have here. We don't buy a ton of bread products, but the kids requested that we buy some of this Dempster's raisin bread because they really like it. So we bought 3 of these. They already ate 2 of these loaves for breakfast this morning. We bought 6 packs of tortillas. So this will last us actually for 6 months. There's 36 wraps per package. So we'll just use 1 of these per month. And tortillas are super easy to make, but they're easier to buy. So I buy them. A couple of packages of naan bread. Whenever I do a butter curry or anything like that, I make my own naan, but the kids also like naan pizzas for lunch. So we have a couple of these. These are just kind of treats. And then a few loaves of bread for those times when I don't want to make bread or I'm sick or anything like that. We use 2 loaves of bread for each meal. So as you can see, this isn't a ton of bread for us. So this is just our backup. And then in behind that, we have 4 boxes of quick outs. Generally, we buy ours in large bulk bags, but these were a good deal. So we bought those to go into the pantry. These Ziploc bags were not actually on our list, but they were a really good price. So we bought 2 of those. We're not big cracker eaters in our house, but we absolutely love these sweet potato crackers. They are really tasty. So we bought 6 boxes of those. These salad toppers, these 3 bags are a treat for me actually. Nobody else really likes them, but I love them. So when I just need to make myself up a quick salad for lunch, I can throw a handful of these on and get a little bit of extra nutrition. Some cashews. These were also not on the list, but we did have some other nuts on the list, and these were a good price, and everyone loves cashews. We throw these in nut mix. So we got 2 bags of those. 2 bags of sliced almonds. Almonds are so expensive right now, so whenever we see a decent deal on them, we buy those. These boxes of granola bars are to actually throw into our car snack bag so that we have some snacks if we're taking an extra long time in town for someone's lessons or something like that, and people just need a little bit of extra fuel. That's what these are for. 3 bags of chocolate chips, and these are for baking. Cocoa powder, 4 bags of those. 6 bags of cranberries. These were also not on the list, but these are delicious, so we got 2 of these. Some extra shampoo to stock up our shampoo and conditioner. Some scrubbies. 12 jugs of maple syrup. And we were going to buy the big giant 20-liter jug of maple syrup, but they didn't have any in stock, so we ended up having to buy the smaller ones. 3 jugs of vanilla, and I looked at the price comparison between buying the vanilla beans that they had there on sale and making my own vanilla versus buying this, and it was actually cheaper to buy the ready-made vanilla, so I did that. I do not remember buying this, so this must have been something that Dan threw into the cart. A little extra apple cider vinegar. My kids love bagels, and they love everything bagels, so when I saw this topping, I checked the ingredients and they were decent, so I thought I would get that for topping on our bagels. I needed a little bit of extra cinnamon, so we got some cinnamon. These tortilla chips are for nachos. We actually use 2 of these huge bags of tortilla chips for nachos. So these we don't actually buy and store. We buy these with our weekly grocery shop, but they had a good price on these ones, so we bought 4 bags of those. We picked these up just as a little treat for the drive, and to be perfectly honest, Dan and I weren't super crazy about them. The kids thought they were fantastic, but we didn't think they were very good. And we also got the dried mango as well to snack on the way home. Dan bought this for the kids for a treat, these 2 bags here for movie night. And this is their absolute favorite store-bought junk food. So we got 2 bags of those. Obviously that's not gonna last us a long time, but that's just a treat. 12 of these 3-kilogram jugs of honey, and the reason that we did this is because, like I mentioned in my last video, our honeybees were robbed by wasps just over a month ago, and so I didn't want to take any more honey from them because I want to leave them their honey so they can make it through the winter. So we do have some of our own honey, but we also bought honey as well. Normally we buy Adam's peanut butter. That's our favorite all-natural peanut butter. But they actually haven't had any where we normally buy it for over a month now. So we ended up going with this brand. This brand's okay, it's not bad. So we bought 18 jars of peanut butter. And one of my favorite things to buy at Costco is their frozen fruit, because they have organic frozen fruit for a reasonable price, whereas buying it at our local grocery store is super expensive. So we bought strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, some cherries, and then also some veggies. So my corn crop, growing corn up here is really challenging, and this was the first year that I've been able to successfully grow enough corn to preserve, but I only was able to can, I think it was 7 quarts. So we bought some frozen corn and a couple of bags of frozen mixed veggies. What I was looking for was frozen peas, but they didn't have any. Buying store-bought frozen produce, it's actually, especially if it's organic, it is pretty good quality because it's picked at its peak ripeness and then flash frozen right away. So it's usually pretty good. 4.5 kilograms of organic cane sugar. And I think that about covers everything that we got. We still have 9 of our 11 kids living at home. Our 2 oldest of the ones that are still living at home are adults now, and they're busy and on with their own lives, and they don't actually eat at home a ton. So we're feeding full-time 7 kids and 2 adults. One of the questions that I usually get whenever I talk about food storage or pantries or anything like that is why we choose to shop this way. And the reason is mostly for convenience, and then of course economics. It is less expensive for our family to buy bulk the way that we do than it is if we were to go to the grocery store every week. We still do, I should say, we still do go to the grocery store quite often, but it's just to pick up usually greens in the wintertime, vegetables and things like that. And our goal this winter is actually to cut our trips to the grocery store down even more dramatically. So that's the first thing. So there's the economics factor and the convenience factor. And the other thing is that there is a sense of food security for us. We have had a couple of different things happen over the years with job loss or illness, or a road washing out and not being able to get to town for some reason. And then one of the last reasons, and this is more just relevant to kind of where we're at right now in the world, is that inflation is on the rise. So it's less expensive for us to spend this money now than it might be even in a month. So that's just something that we kind of have. It's not the primary reason why we shopped this way this time, because we always do, but it is definitely something that we're thinking about. I am going to be doing my full pantry tour next week. I just have to get all this stuff loaded into the pantry, and then I need to finish up with my canning for the year, which I'm going to be mostly getting done today and tomorrow. Once those are done, that video will come up. So that will either be, I'm posting right now Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So it'll be one of those 3 days. So keep your eye out for that. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe to our channel already, please consider hitting the subscribe button and the bell notification. We would love to have you here as part of the Little Mountain Ranch family. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, everyone. Bye.